Well, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning in some parts of the world. Good afternoon in others. Hey, so listen, my name is Rich Williams. I am a staffing consultant with Cornerstone Staffing Solutions. And at Cornerstone Staffing Solutions, we always put talent first. And so I just wanted to get on here today, just take maybe 20, 25 minutes of your time, share with you some ideas and things, some practice, some conversation that I've had in the past and currently are having, in terms of showing people how to win. I mean, think about this. We all have some level of success. Success means different things to different people, right? To me, success, I sort of adopted the definition for success that Earl Nightingale had, and that definition of success was the progression of a worthy idea or goal. Success is the progression of a worthy idea and or goal. And so when I think about success, to me, success is progression, is moving forward. It's deciding one thing and then putting the proper behavior, actions, mindset in place to cause that thing to come to pass. And so over the years, I've had conversations around this time of years with sales professional, entrepreneur, and business owners on how to position themselves for success in 2023. And this is a snapshot, a portion of what that conversation typically goes through. By the way, if you watch this broadcast at some point in time and you want a copy of the PowerPoint slides, just send me an email, DM me. DM, for those that don't know, DM me direct message chat, or you can put it in the chat box your email address. I'll email it out to you as a PDF, or I can text it out to you. It'd be a link to the Google Drive where you can get the information, right? So with that being said, let me just jump right into it because I promise not to take up much of your time, maybe 30 minutes or so today, on finding a way to win. Now, a little bit on me, background on me. I started my in sales, career in sales um, in 1996. 1996, my wife and I started a company called Williams Carpet Cleaning and Concierge Services. And our first year in business, we made a whopping $783. Our first year in business, man, we did $783, right? Our expenses were $3,886. Our income was $783. Our expenses were $3,886. Why do I remember that? Because I remember feeling like, was it worth it? At the time, I wasn't working. My wife was working a job. I wasn't working. I'm a risk taker. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur by heart. So I said, listen, hon, this is what we're going to do. I stepped out to start this business. By the way, my wife said, okay, that's good. You got 6 months to make it work. So first year in business, $783. Sales, uh, expenses, $3,886. But I found a way to win. The second year in business, we went from making $3,886 in a year to making $3,000 to $5,000 in 1 month, and then it grew from 3 to 5,000. Then it went from 5,000 to 6 or 7, and then eventually capped out at about $10 or $11,000. Now listen, $10 or $11,000 a month of income in 2020 economy may not be. I mean, it's a good income, but in 1996, man, 1997, $10,000 a month for my wife and I at that time, it was great income, right? But we found a way to win. And so some of the principles that I've learned there, my background in staffing, I've been doing staffing and business development for over 15 years. So I'm pretty comfortable with having this type of conversation. So this is where we're going as it relates to finding a way to win. So we're going to go talk about talk about food for the journey today. Then we're going to take an assessment. I want you to assess and be honest. This is a personal assessment. Your boss, supervisor, or loved one isn't going to necessarily see this assessment, or right. But if you want to share it with your boss or supervisor, your loved one, you can take an assessment. Be honest when you take the assessment. Have a clear vision. Then the fourth thing we're going to talk about is set clear goals, and then we're going to talk briefly about tying activities to objectives only. Tying activities to objectives only. So, food for the journey today. You know, what would an autopsy report say as the reason why we did not hit our 2022 goals? If we can do an autopsy report of our business, if we can do an autopsy report of our organization, what would that report find? Don't be misled into thinking. These are just food for our journey today. Don't be misled into thinking that 2023 is going to present something different if we didn't present something different to it. Does that make sense? See, I've heard this long ago, and I'm not sure who the author of this phrase, but insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. It's insane. That's absolutely insane. Listen, a new year will need to start with a new you and a new way of thinking. 2023 isn't going to be any different than 2022 unless we change the mindset that created 2022. Let me say that again. 2023 isn't going to present or be anything different than 2022 if we don't create or change the mindset. We don't change the mindset that created the results of 2022. Today is Friday, October the 28th. And today, my life, my day, it is exactly where my mindset and belief system position me, good, bad, or somewhere in between. I know it's harsh, but it's true, right? I know it's harsh. Um, but it is absolutely true. So we got to start thinking about making this transition um, uh, for our businesses. A calendar change doesn't guarantee that there will be something new and or exciting happening in our organization. Ooh. So here we go, the assessment. Now, every year, somewhere around November, December, typically December near the end of the year, I do this self evaluation. I've been doing it for the past couple of years. And my wife participates in it as well, right? So we sit down, and I'm looking at this today. The conversation is for business owners, organizations, sales professional, entrepreneurs, and small sales professional, entrepreneurs, and small business owners and business owners, right? So that's where this information is targeted to today. So here's a self assessment. Question number one: what did I do, create, or experience this year that I'm really proud of? Now, this is where you're going to take some time to think about what has happened. Now, I know it's early. Well, it's November. Oh, it's almost November. November starts next week, right? But this is still a great time to have this assessment. This is where you want to write down your accomplishments and positive experience. It puts you in a great mindset going into the new year. What are some things that I did? What were some of the positive experiences from 2022 that I'm actually proud of? What are some of the accomplishments? What are some of the results? What are some of the things that happened? That I'm really, really, really proud of from 2022. Right now, the next step then is we want to um, ask ourselves the second question. Second question simply says, what mistakes did I make that taught me something? What are lessons that I've learned from them? How can I do better? Now, this helps you reflect on mistakes for the sole reason and purpose on how to improve. You don't want to repeat the same mistakes every year. I personally say this about myself. If I'm in the same place at the end of this year that I was at the end of last year, this is just Rich. I personally say to myself, Rich, you've lived a year and you wasted time. Friend, I want to encourage you to maximize the moment in your life. I want you to maximize the moments in your business. Every day, our business, our clients, our prospects, they're teaching us a lesson. Every moment matters, right? Every moment matters. So for me personally, I've lived a year and I wasted time. But what are some of your mistakes? Next question, third question, and this is part of the evaluation process. And that is, what stories have I been telling myself that I'm willing to let go of? What stories, Rich? What are you telling yourself about yourself Let me just be 100% transparent, right? Let me just put it out there. I'm 100%. Well, I'm a transparent type guy. So what you see is what you get. No hidden agenda. I'm coming straight with it, right? So I'm 100% transparent. I'll never forget years ago when I'm working in a manufacturing environment. And in that manufacturing environment, I was hired to be, I was training to become a CNC operator. This apprenticeship program. It was 4 years, 8,000 hours training, very intense training. I was in my early 20s, like 21, I think, at the time when I enrolled in the program. I'm really excited. It's something new for me. However, I'm following a path that my family, historically are blue collar workers. So I'm prepared to follow the path as a blue collar worker. I'm going somewhere. Stay with me. It's the point of what stories are you telling yourself that's keeping you from success. So I'm on this job and I'm 2 years in, and it's time for an evaluation. I go into the supervisor office and I'm expecting the supervisor to say something like, Rich, I don't know what we would have done without you. You're so amazing. You're wonderful. You're fantastic. He said to me, he said, Rich, you seem to be the most incompetent person I've ever met. First of all, that's an HR violation, isn't it? Where are my HR friends? Come on, someone drop a one. If that's an HR, that's an HR violation. It has to be, right? He said, you seem to be the most incompetent person that I ever met in my life. Now, friend, my mindset was I was prepared for him to say, I don't know what this organization, what this company would have done without you. You're so bright, you're so innovative. No, he said, you're incompetent. My mindset, my experience at that time took the word incompetent and said, you know what? He's calling you dumb. That word, it rung out in my heart. It rung out in my mind. It rung out in my soul. I went home that day, sat on the basement steps, and I literally I cried like a baby. You know, you ever had that cry? You ever cry so hard that your tear ducts are empty, right? You had that cry where your whole body just shakes. But I had that cry, I had that moment, right? And I realized I was telling myself stories about my value, right? I was telling myself that created a behavior that manifested in the eyes of my supervisor that I was incompetent. So I had to change it. I started telling myself information is the difference between success and failure, right? I began to say, Rich, you have value, you have worth. But I was telling myself a story that you're not worth it. You don't deserve this type of success. And this is the type of valuation that I do, right? And so we got to then, after we go through the three questions, let's summarize your 2022. What's one word you would use to summarize 2022, right? This is part of this how to win. Because my goal, my focus is sharing with you that winning is possible. Listen, sometimes you have to fire your coach. Remember years ago, Tiger Woods, when Tiger Woods was getting to the height of his career, and then there seemed to be a plateau. What one of the things that Tiger Woods did was Tiger Woods fired his coach, right? And he hired another one. And when he hired another coach, he started going to the next level, right? Insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So you got to summarize what's one word, right? Because the goal is winning. How are you going to win in your organization next year in 2023? Will 2023 be anything different than 2022? What type of talent are you looking to hire? What process do you have in place? You're hiring for a position. You have a high turnover in the position, right? I'm attracting bad candidates. I hear it often in the job market. It's just bad candidates. People don't want to work. Not true. Now I know unemployment rates impact hiring. I understand that when the pandemic came in some states and some counties, communities have people are collecting unemployment, and then there is money on top of the emergency funds on top of unemployment for some, which means they can make as much money staying home as compared to working. And if I'm making almost as much money staying home as working, why go to work? I get it. I understand it. Listen, when the pandemic hit, my daughter was administrator at working at BMW, and she got laid off. And she collected unemployment, and then there was a benefit, and I can't remember what it's called. It was some type of money put on top of unemployment, right? She saved her checks for 10, 11 months, and she went out and bought a $10,000 car and paid cash for it. I said, go, girl, go. But I get it. I get it. There are people out there that want to work the system. There are employees out there. There are candidates out there. There are potential hires out there that they rather stay home and work. But listen, let me tell you something, friend. There are a small percentage. There are people out there that are hungry and humble at the same time. There are people out there that are looking for opportunities, right? But what kind of mindset do we have? What's our vision? What are you looking? Who are you looking to attract in your organization? What does your next hire look like? Right? And can you afford them? That's a different question. Man, I'm really excited about this. I hope you can feel the passion on this. You got to have clear vision. Go to the end of next year. What do you see? What does the end of 2023 look like for your organization? Are you hiring? What does your hire look like? What's your hiring model looks like? What is your workforce? What does it look like? Right? Create vision reminders of what you see. So I'm going to go to the end of 2023 in my mind. I'm going to visualize what I see happening in my business. I'm going to visualize the type of talent that I'm hiring. I want to visualize our processes, how we offer five-star customer service, how we provide talent that's above what the market, right? I'm going to see what that looks like and I'm going to describe it. And then I'm going to put things up around me that reminds me. Like one of the things I tell myself is that you talent first. Always lead with talent. And so I believe that I attract talent. We believe that we attract talent. So you got to create vision reminders, whether it's affirmations. One of my favorite affirmation as a business owner, um, um, and as a sales professional is that my nature attracts money. I am a money magnet. When I talk with entrepreneurs that start in the business for the first time, I say, "Hey, man, listen. Hey," when I say man, ladies, I should be careful. I say, "Hey, listen. You are the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. Have that mindset first. Only talk about what you see. So many times people are having conversation about what they don't want. Why talk about what you don't want consistently? Doesn't make sense. Why talk about? Imagine this. Those that are into growing plants. My mother-in-law, she loves plants. She loves we recently moved her in with us a few months ago. And I said, Mom, in your house you have 6 million plants. You're gonna have to survive with about five at the new location. Unless you want to put 6 million plants in your bedroom, I'm okay with that. Your room can look like Jumanji if you wanted to. Right? But here's the point that I'm trying to make. Why water a plant if my desire is for it is to die? Why would I water a plant if my desire is for the plant that it should die? So talk about what you see, not what you saw. Only talk about where I'm going. I don't focus on now. We learn from the past, right? I don't lose. I have lessons and I learn from my lessons. But I'm only going to talk about what I see. And I'm encouraging you, friend, to do the same thing. Only talk about what you see. Only talk about what you see, right? Without vision, people cast off restraint. Without vision, people are locked into their past. And the tomorrow will reflect it. When tomorrow looks like my today, that's because I'm still living in my past. When my tomorrow looks like my today, that means I'm still living from my past. Let me unpack that for a minute. Okay. And I'm specifically if the tomorrow that I'm in isn't a tomorrow that I want, right? If my tomorrow doesn't looks like my today, and my today is something that I want to change. I'm not happy with the organization. I'm not happy with the process. I'm not happy with the hiring. I need to do something different. So if my tomorrow looks like my today, that means I'm still using a model from the past. I'm still looking at from the past. I'm still carrying the past into my present, which means it's going to tell me what my tomorrow looks like. I hope this is making sense. Without vision, hope fades. Without vision, dreams die. Motivation leaves, and discouragement moves in. There's a story I heard about a shoe salesman that went to a country where the people didn't wear shoes. The first salesman came into the area. He's walking up and down the street, and he's ready to help his corporate company open up a shoe business in the country. And he's walking around, and he said, "These people here, they don't wear shoes." He got on a plane, flew back home. They sent a second salesman. He got there, and he's walking around. He said, "Man, these people don't wear shoes." He called headquarters. He said, "Send me all the shoes you have in stock." What's the difference between the first salesman and the second salesman? Vision. Without vision, your success is mediocrity. It's normal without vision. Vision is the ability to see a tomorrow and enjoy it today. Vision is the ability to see my tomorrow and then enjoy it today. Until the promise of change is greater than my present pain, then listen, tomorrow is going to look the same. I will remain the same, right? So you got to have vision. If you're going to win, if you want to know how to win, have vision, and then you want to set some very solid goals. Set some milestones and measure your success along the way. Set goals that are measurable, sustainable, and repeatable. MSR. Set goals that are measurable, sustainable, and repeatable. MSR. MSR. Measurable, sustainable, repeatable. So I want goals that are so articulated, so clearly defined that when I step out of the process, the goals, anyone could step in and continue the process. And then you want to clarify your why, right? VP or your UVP, whatever you want to call it, but it's your value proposition. Why in the heck would anyone want to work at your organization? Why in the heck would a candidate want to come and use your agency, right? So is your UVP, your measurable, your value proposition, is it clearly defined? Why? Does your workforce, your staff, your employees know why you're doing what you're doing? Friend, I'm just telling you how to win, how to get ahead, how to have success in your business in 2023, right? That's what this conversation really is all about. It's about winning. It's about position ourselves. It's about saying, hey, food for the journey. Honest, I have to do a self, right? Set up some vision. I have to clearly define my goals. Okay, how we're going to get there. Friend, that's how you win. That's how you have success. That's how you cause 2023 to be far different than your 2022. Now, some time to, join me this afternoon on how to win. I plan on doing periodic little webinars like this. My desire, my goal is to share information to help be successful in life. Hey, I'm Rich Williams. I'm a senior business manager at Cornerstone Staffing Solutions in Columbia, Maryland. It's 443-741-8321. Listen, if I can be a resource for you, feel free to call. Feel free to ask. I love to share your way at Cornerstone Staffing Solution. We always put